I guess I should move on to SmackDown now.
Sure.
Randy Orton versus Rob Van Dam opened the show. There was a guy I was prepared to hate. He was literally in the center of the front row, right in the middle of the camera. And he was standing there doing the Rob Van Dam point your thumbs to yourself thing and blowing a whistle. And at one point, even Orton just stopped the match to stare at him and try to kill him with his eyes. Thankfully, he gave up on the whistle after that. So, you'll never guess how Rob got cut off, Brian.
He was thrown off the post into the dasher boards.
He went up top and then got pushed off.
Come on now.
I am starting to think this wrestling thing may not be in the up and up.
Ridiculous.
JBL was listing all of Rob Van Dam's...
Maybe Flair taught him that spot.
He may have. He was starting to list RVD's ECW credentials, which is hysterical considering what the character JBL played on that One Night Stand show was the ultimate ECW hater. This made me laugh. So, had a fun match. Orton tried an RKO, and right as he grabbed him, Rob just kicked him in the face with a high kick. That was awesome. Rob tried Rolling Thunder. I think we've mentioned this before, but it's 2013, and Rob is not quite as athletic as he used to be. And he's starting to come down on his own head and neck when he does this move.
Well, I disagree. 99% of the time, he comes down with his full weight on the person and nearly kills him. But he's in the ring with Randy Orton, and so he had to not kill him, and so he came down on his head and neck.
I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was bad. And then he did that, and he missed a frog splash, and Orton immediately hit an RKO for the win. And they were pushing like crazy that Orton was going to cash in at SummerSlam.
I don't know if he's going to cash in at SummerSlam, but I guarantee Randy Orton is cashing in sometime within the next 7 days. It's my prediction.
All right.
You want to know why?
He called you and told you?
No.
I don't know.
Because he's leaned out.
Ah.
That's what happens when people are about to win titles.
That's a good point.
This was as lean as he has been in a long time. That's my evidence.
Miz TV with AJ Lee and Big E Langston. He asked them about their relationship. She called Big E a nice friend and a good guy, said he was her best friend, to give him a fist bump. Miz gave E a thumbs up and said, "That's cool," in a sarcastic douchebag manner.
You know what I love is
the worst babyface ever.
AJ and Big E are only teasing a relationship on SmackDown. You notice that? This never gets brought up on Raw. This storyline only continues on SmackDown.
I did not notice that.
If you did not watch SmackDown, you'd have absolutely no idea that they were teasing a relationship between these two people. So
Dolph started running down all the guys AJ had screwed, and Caitlyn came out, and Dolph came out, and Dolph has, Big E, the guy who just kicked his ass and pinned him on Raw, and the girl he's having this weird psycho. They're both going after each other, ugly breakup thing, and he just walks down and gets in the ring in front of him and talks. Talk. Caitlyn came out and she talked, and everyone except Big E started talking, and Miz announced that he was the host of SummerSlam, which meant he could make matches. Which begs the question, why don't you make a match with yourself for the World Championship? That's what I would do. Instead, he booked AJ and Big E versus Caitlyn and Dolph, and they broke out, and the people who I guess are the baby faces, which would be Dolph and Caitlyn, they hit their finishers. Really, the only likable person in this entire segment was Big E.
By far. Big E was the biggest baby face in the ring.
Yep.
Miz was infuriating.
Yep.
Even AJ was less infuriating than Dolph.
Yep.
And Caitlyn and Dolph did beat him up like dicks.
Dolph is a bigger dick as a babyface than he was as a heel.
Yeah.
It's not going well. Alberto was upset with Vicky because he had to wrestle Christian tonight when he had to defend his title against Christian at SummerSlam in 10 days. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. She ordered him to wrestle tonight, and I noticed here, this is the only time I think I've seen this, or at least I noticed it. There's a SummerSlam poster that has Dolph Ziggler, AJ Lee, the Bellas, CM Punk, and Team Hell No riding a roller coaster together.
Oh yeah, that's the official poster.
This needs to be everywhere. They put it in the center of the mat. It's fantastic. I don't know how I have not noticed that before.
I don't know if something's going to happen at SummerSlam and they're going to do something weird with this match. Like, I don't know what they would do. What was that?
Did I drink in the mic? I'm sorry.
Yes, don't do that. I don't know if they're going to do something weird with the Del Rio Christian match, but when I saw them do a full-length pay-per-view caliber match with a finish on this show, all I could think was they're doing something weird at SummerSlam. Doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Damien's got a briefcase.
I mean, Christian's beat him like 16 times. Yeah. You know? I almost figured like they decided to do something like make it quick or make it not happen or something, and then as a make good, they just told these guys they could have their match on SmackDown. Although I don't know why they wouldn't do it the week after. I have no idea. Maybe because Del Rio won't be champion. Maybe there will be a cash-in. I don't know. But it was very weird to see a match this good and this long on this show. How do you follow this at the pay-per-view?
More to the point, if you've already seen them have a really long, really good match with the babyface winning, why would you buy the pay-per-view? I guess.
Well, no one's buying the pay-per-view for this match is the answer.
That's true. That's true. Fandango wrestled Kofi Kingston
in a Raw rematch.
Yeah, because got to do the even Steven booking. Summer Rae got involved a lot. First, Kofi teased a dive off the top rope, but Summer stepped in the way. So Kofi responded by climbing down to the apron and then diving over her onto Fandango. Then Summer feigned an injury to distract Kofi. This worked, and Fandango grabbed Kofi, threw him into the post. Kofi took a phenomenal bump for this. If he didn't kill himself, this is the best bump in the post ever. Went flying through the air, and then Fandango threw him inside and hit the top rope leg drop and won.
It was fine. Summer Rae was great.
Summer Rae, well, everyone was fine. It was a 4-minute match. Nothing. It's hard to be great in a 4-minute match. Everyone here was fine. Renee Young interviewed Daniel Bryan backstage. He said he liked the way he looked. And despite what John Cena said, he had never changed himself to get to the WWE. He vowed to win the title at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett. I was upset Wade was not doing the John Tenta half-beard gimmick. He went for the Clippers, Wade did, towards the end. And they had an epic battle as Wade tried to save him.
I love the sound of the Clippers being on that they edited in. So goofy.
And, yeah. So Bryan finally kicked him away, had a knee strike off the apron, and finished him off with the diving headbutt and the no-lock. Then he put the Clippers on the stairs and stomped them to death.
As revenge.
As revenge on the Clippers. It was...
Well, I guess not. The Clippers were his friend.
They were, sort of. He used them.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Young interviewed Damian Sandow, who has a brand new briefcase in fine embossed leather with what he said is a brand new legally binding contract, so he's still going to be world champion, which begs the question, why did you jump into the Gulf of Mexico for the old one?
Well, maybe he was unaware that he could get a new one at the time.
Shouldn't the world's smartest man know this kind of thing?
Well, you never know. This is unprecedented.
That is true.
But he should know next time. Which begs the question why he's handcuffing the goddamn briefcase to the post. Because it doesn't matter.
And then getting distracted by it anyway.
Yeah.
Inconsistent booking. Kane beat three-man band in a great squash match. These guys killed themselves to make Kane look good. Particularly Heath, who went flying over the announce desk. And then finally he pinned... he won. I didn't get the finish. I think he pinned Drew with a chokeslam. Bray Wyatt then appeared on the big screen. He was laughing about the Ring of Fire match. Said he didn't fear the fire feared him. And he began to whisper that he was already dead. And it went blank.
You know what absolutely infuriates me is the Wyatt clan a few weeks ago faced Tons of Funk. And
it was not very good.
A-Train, Albert, what's his name? Tensai. He was beating on him for a while. And I was just baffled. Like, why can't the Wyatt clan just destroy Tons of Funk? Why can't they just squash them? And, various people were like, it doesn't matter. It does matter to me. It does matter that the Wyatt clan should be getting over. And Tons of Funk is not so valuable that they cannot be squashed. And anyway, In the ensuing weeks, I have seen Kane absolutely completely squash Titus O'Neil. Titus got not 1 second of offense against Kane. And on SmackDown, I saw Kane absolutely destroy 3 men, all of 3MB, who did not get 1 single moment of offense on them. And who is Kane squashing these men to set up for? The Wyatt Clan!
Well, you go to establish Kane for the fans. They may not be familiar with this man.
Sometimes it's okay to squash people. It's not the end of the world. It's tons of funk. Who cares? Also, I have absolutely no idea why this match is an Inferno match. The only thing I can figure is that they were going to do a match, the Wyatt Clan was going to interfere, and then in a few months they were going to do a Ring of Fire match. But since Kane got the gig doing See
No Evil 2.
See No Evil 2, May 19 2, they had to move it forward and just get the fire out of the way at SummerSlam. So that is my presumption.
That makes sense. The best thing ever happened. Brock Lesnar cut a promo. It was a pre-tape deal with a video edited in. He was looking right into the camera, speaking calmly but firmly about how this feud was not just between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. He was not just Paul's hired muscle. He, in fact, did not like CM Punk.
Never liked him.
Never liked him. Only tolerated him as a favorite of Paul. He said Punk liked to call himself the best in the world. Then Brock said, "Look at him. Now look at me.
Yes.
Now look at him again." Said Punk had never been a champion in the NC2As or in UFC. Just because he had a bunch of tattoos and had taken beginners MMA classes at his local gym, he thought he was a tough guy, but he was wrong. They had still photos of Brock killing dudes in UFC and videos of him tapping dudes out in his gym. Finally, he just said that the Beast was the best. This promo was awesome. You must all go out of your way to see this promo. Well, they showed it on Raw, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Great, 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 great stuff.
It was fabulous. It was great. Brock is
the best. I know
some people don't think Brock can cut a promo, but Brock cuts a great promo.
Yes.
Brock should not cut a promo like The Rock.
No.
Or Ric Flair. Or Kurt Angle. Brock is just a big, mean, cocky farmer.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care if his promos are any good. He's just going to tell it like it is, and he's going to move on with his life.
Yes.
It's great. It's a great gimmick.
So Alberto wrestled Christian forever. Close to a half hour, I think. Went through 2 commercial breaks. They were listing men who Alberto could have chosen to face at SummerSlam. And Michael Cole suggested Hornswoggle. JPL said that wouldn't work because Hornswoggle was in the wrong weight class. He's a super heavyweight. And he called Hornswoggle, quote, the world's largest not-so-tall guy. I laughed at all this.
He is very big and heavy.
He is plus size, yes. So, like I say, went forever. Was very, very good. They started hitting and teasing all their big moves, although neither guy at any point was able to hit his finish. Del Rio never got the armbar. Christian never hit the kill switch. And finally, Christian
actually went for the armbar, and he pretty much had it, but Christian rolled out and tried his three-quarter Nelson, which won last time, but this time Del Rio knew enough and kicked out, which was a great spot.
If Christian rolled through it, then Del Rio never had it.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it may have been. I know the spot you're talking about, and yeah, it didn't look great, but it's fine. So, Christian won with a small package out of nowhere. Del Rio kicked out at 3.1.
Stole Brian's finish.
True. He was throwing a giant tantrum as Christian just sold, because he just wrestled for a half hour. And then Del Rio went after him after the match, and Christian dropped with a kill switch, effectively getting 2 wins in 1 segment. So no chance Christian wins the SummerSlam, if you were wondering. Then Damian ran out with his briefcase in the ref, but Cody Rhodes laid him out, and the bell never rang, so no cash in. If Cody wanted to screw Damian, he should have waited for Damian to cash in. Then the bell would have rung. Then Cody attacks him. It's a DQ. Damian wins, but he has no title and no briefcase.
Yeah.
That would screw the guy.
Maybe Cody has a plan and he wants the briefcase.
That could be it. So that was SmackDown. It had a very good opener, very good main event, pretty good opener. The fantastic Brock Lesnar segment. This is a pretty good show.
And again, everybody, since the debate was up about why Cody Rhodes was not getting over as a babyface, people always get into a dude cashing in Money in the Bank. Always. Because I think they're going to see a championship match in front of their own eyes in their hometown. And when
championship change.
Damian Sandow's, what did I say? Title match?
You said
title
championship
change.
match.
Title change. So when Damian Sandow's music hit and he came out with the briefcase, obviously everybody went nuts because they thought, oh my God, Damian Sandow's going to cash in on Alberto Del Rio and win the title. So even though Cody is the babyface, when he came out and thwarted this, he was a dick. The fans were unhappy with this. I think they piped in some of that goofy SmackDown fake crowd noise. But yeah, Cody's not getting over as a babyface, and it's no mystery to me.
There's a number of reasons.
So there you go, everybody. That was SmackDown. All right, the songs have been a failure thus far, so let's continue on with Raw.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to find one. I just go into the archives. I have song archives here, everybody. But you're unaware of that. Pick a number between 1 and 100, Vinny.
73.
73. If I have songs that far back.
Then why did you say 1 and 100?
Well, I guess I do.
I just did as I was told.
Pick 1 in 50.
37. Switch the numbers around.
I should have known it was going to be that or 38. All righty. That's a little bit better. Let's play. Oh. Remember the doo-wop contest?
I just woke up this minute.
You just woke up.
Yeah.
Baby, getting tired of you.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm good if I don't. Every week, I don't really care that much for it.
Groggy Granny is something else, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the Lance show today?
No, I haven't.
How about the Todd show?
No, didn't either one because...
How about the Dave show last night?
I haven't listened to any of those because...
How about the Brian and Vinny show on Tuesday? Did you listen to that one? Have you listened to any show at all this week?
Well, I listened to that for, I don't know what happened. I've been so busy. I worked outside and then I went to the ball game. Come on every night.
My God, her grandson has finally jumped the shark with her.
Well, you know what? Next step. Well,
Baby, getting tired of you.
I'm sorry if I messed up the show, but...
Heaving sigh.
That should be our tagline. The Brian and Vinny Show.
Gasp.
Yeah. Should I talk about Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
Opened with Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett with Brad Maddox as special ref. The unannounced special ref was a shock to everyone. So, this was maybe the worst Bryan match of 2013. When he's doing his comeback, he and Wade kept almost bonking headfirst into each other. And of the two of them, I'm going to blame Wade. Then, Wade hit his schoolboy. Brad Maddox gave the fastest 3 count of all time, and Wade won. And I know it was a bullshit finish. I know he got screwed. I still can't believe they had Daniel Bryan try to beat a man and fail on the go-home show for SummerSlam.
Well, he didn't fail. He was blatantly screwed.
He didn't beat him.
He didn't beat him, but he was... It was a fast count by a biased ref. Doesn't count.
Doesn't do any favors.
It played into the storyline, dingbat.
Damian Sandow versus Randy Orton with Cody on commentary. This was the moment when Damian came out with his the replacement briefcase, thus establishing that both the briefcase and the contract can be replaced. He still handcuffed it to the ring.
I think the bigger question about that opening match was why we had Bryan versus Barrett again if we had a clean finish and a decisive win on SmackDown.
Because they have 5 hours of TV to fill, plus pay-per-views, and not enough people to go around. So Cody was on commentary, as I mentioned, in his suit and mustache.
Being a dick.
Like a twerp. Being a dick. So first, he asked JBL how he would have felt if Ron Simmons had shoved him off a ladder. Asked the same question with Lawler and Jackie Fargo. Then he dismissed that entire storyline, said it was every man for himself in that match and he'd have done the same thing. And the real problem was that Damian had been saying he was the better man and had been saying so for weeks. He started talking about the ladder match again. So Cody, like everyone else, has no idea what his motivation is supposed to be. Then he got up and started monkeying with the briefcase, which was A, replaceable, and B, handcuffed to the ring. Somehow, this caused Damian Sandow, the world's smartest man, to be distracted anyway. And then Orton hit him with an RKO and won.
Yeah.
They were teasing.
Heavily.
I can't even say teasing. They were saying that either Orton or Sandow would cash in on Sunday.
Well, realistically, there probably is going to be a cash-in soon because they don't like two guys having briefcases at the same time.
Yeah, they've done briefcase versus briefcase at least twice now. Shield cut a promo and what appeared to be a giant sewer pipe. Rollins was saying the lazy old guard had to go. It was time for a new generation to take over. And Reigns said they had issued an open challenge for the titles at the pay-per-view. Ambrose said there's a battle royal on this show for a shot at his U.S. title at the pay-per-view, although it was actually the pre-show. And I said he was better than Punk and better than Cena, and unless Andre the Giant's ghost was in the battle royal, nobody in there was going to beat him. Very good promo. They re-aired the Brock Lesnar promo from SmackDown, which is a great idea. And Punk said he knew that if he was facing Heyman tonight, he'd be facing Lesnar too. And at the end of the day, he would still be the best in the world. Great Khali and Natalya versus Big E Langston and AJ Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Where to begin? Khali and Natalya are still a couple here, even though in Total Divas they are not. We're talking about JR's app, which JBL said would let you attend football practice, drink too much, and sell barbecue sauce.
That's what he said. I was baffled.
I just thought it sounds like a fine life.
I mean, I'm baffled in the sense that, I don't know.
He was laughing at himself when he said it. So, Great Khali and Big E never tagged in. The girls did the whole match. And ordinarily with Khali involved, you would say, great idea. Didn't work out that way. So Natalya puts AJ in the sharpshooter. Man, the ref's not there. And like simultaneously, the ref arrives, AJ taps, and Natalya lets go of the hold. So the ref decides it didn't count. Do it again. Man, so Natalya puts it back in and AJ taps, and that was it. And then Big E went after Khali afterwards. He hit Khali in the back, and Khali took about a minute to go down. And then Khali came back and hit him with a chop anyway. JBL said this segment has gone off the rails. He was correct.
You know, I don't know if it just, I mean, apparently it was not on television, but I could have sworn, and I was in fact told by somebody that the ref had called for the bell and they just didn't ring the bell. What happened here? Am I missing something?
Like I say, as Natalya let go of the hold, AJ tapped and the ref showed up. I blame all three of them.
I think he called for the bell, and as his back was turned, they that's why when they cut to a shot, it looked like he wasn't paying attention. He had been paying attention. He turned to call for the bell, but they didn't ring the bell because whoever was calling the bell had not seen a tap. Everybody's arguing about what actually happened here. But the fact of the matter is, if this were really the referee's fault, they would not have sent that same referee out there to referee 2 more matches later on in the evening. Now, the ref could still get in trouble because apparently he decided to go on Twitter today and defend himself, which is not the smartest thing to do.
No.
But during the show, I mean, there was no heat on the referee, so I don't know what that tells everybody, except that, I don't know, something went wrong somewhere. It's just a mess.
Vince McMahon came out in his greatest suit ever.
Everyone's on and on about this suit, but like, I've seen 8 million Goofy Vince suits. 8 million goofier.
This wasn't goofy. This was awesome. He has black slacks, a blood red blazer, and a purple shirt.
Yeah.
Getting married next year.
I've seen him wear
I'm taking notes.
pink plaid, for Christ's sake.
That's goofy. This was awesome.
Vinny, you're not going to get away with wearing this color scheme at your wedding.
Probably not.
Now, I might be able to.
Fine with me. Really, it's fine with me. Vince called Maddox down to the ring, asked why he had appointed himself a special ref for that match. and why he had fast counted Bryan. And Maddox had said that the match needed somebody to be an impartial official. It was his first time reffing in a while. He may have been overexcited. If there had been rust in his game, it had been unintentional. Said he deserved a second chance and asked to be the official for the Bryan Cena match at SummerSlam. Fans were quite passionately chanting no. Vince made Maddox promise to be unbiased and not call Bryan names or make fun of his physique. Maddox crossed his heart. Vince was very pleased. He was about to announce Maddox as a special ref when Triple H showed up. He agreed that the match needed a special ref, but said Maddox was not the guy to do it. He pedigreed Maddox, said he was going to be the ref, and Vince stormed out. And my very first thought was, Vince and Hunter are working together to get Hunter into the match to screw Bryan and do it without Stephanie noticing. Or before she's smart enough to figure it out and put a stop to it.
Or they're working together to get Orton in there to cash in against both guys. Either guy.
Either way.
Vince did say he didn't want either of them as champion.
He did. He did. Kane squashed Titus O'Neil. The highlight was, how many distraction finishes do we see on a typical Raw or SmackDown? 2 or 3.
Sure.
Darren Young jumped up in the apron. Kane stared at him. Darren Young jumped back down. Kane hit his chokeslam and won anyway. Great!
Yeah.
Wyatts came out, did their whole entrance in the dark except for their lantern. And then when they got in the ring and the lights came on, Kane had already ran away to the top of the ramp. He set off his pyro.
Teleported.
Basically. He set off his pyro and Bray Wyatt laughed. I thought this was all done really, really well, but this crowd didn't care at all. Josh interviewed the Bellas.
Yeah.
I think I've already blanked this out of my mind. I'll just read what my notes here say. Natalya showed up and challenged Brie to a singles match for SummerSlam. Eva Marie and the Funkadactyls got involved, and oh, it was all so very, very bad. Yeah, that's about all I remember.
That's exactly what happened.
Slapping
There's
involved.
nothing more.
No good. This is bad, bad, bad television.
Brie slapped Natalya, and Natalya was so outraged. Even though, if I recall correctly, she had slapped Brie last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. I know what you were just saying about how it's okay to squash guys sometimes. Del Rio should have squashed him better here. At least he won. Finished him off with the armbar. Hey, Christian highlight video. A lot of Edge and Dudley's and the Hardys, of course. And then there's a first World Championship win, and then his win in the three-way, and then his win over Del Rio on SmackDown last week.
How about his awesome feud with Randy Orton?
I didn't see any of that.
What are you talking about? It happened here in Seattle. You were at the show.
No, I mean, I didn't in this video.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was none of it in this video.
Yes, I saw it many times, including one live. Christian cut a promo, got his one more match line in there, and Del Rio showed up and said something in Spanish, and that was it. Real Americans versus the Usos in a match this crowd could not have possibly cared any less about.
Which is amazing, given that Jimmy Uso is a big star on Total Divas.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was made out to be a dick on the show this week.
Yes, he was. All 4 dudes and Zeb got involved in the finish, and then the Usos pinned Swagger with a roll-up. Miz TV with Cena and Bryan. He asked them about Hunter being the ref. Bryan just spoke briefly and said it meant they'd be able to have the match they wanted to have with a competent referee. Cena first took a shot at Miz, saying his segments were usually train wrecks. Indeed.
True.
He said Hunter was the best man possible to maintain order.
By the way, I forgot this in the NXT report. Alex Riley, in the main event,
I don't even know where it's going with this.
he's
It's
a
funny.
commentator in the main event. His job is to get over the main event and the participants. And as the match is coming to an end, he says, and this is not a direct quote, but this may as well be. He said, "I don't care who wins. I just want this match to end."
No, you got it backwards. He He said, somebody was in a submission hold. I think Kruger had a hold on, and he said, I hope Bo doesn't tap because I don't want this match to end.
I see.
Yes. That is a critical difference.
Critical difference. All right. I apologize to Alex Riley.
Yes. I remember that part.
Why didn't you correct me when I was yelling at the TV in the middle of it?
Because I wasn't sure why you were upset.
I see.
I heard you upset, but I didn't.
I like
really
my
know
story
why.
better.
It's a more entertaining story.
Let's pretend that happened.
It's a stupider thing to say.
All right, anyway.
So, Miz tried to stir the shit, be a dick like always, and a shitty baby face.
So what did you think I was going to say when you said you knew where it was going?
No, I said I was laughing and mumbling. I said I don't even know where you're going with this.
I thought you said you knew where I was going. What the hell's up with my hearing? I went swimming this weekend. I got water in my ears. I don't think it's come out yet. I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
I don't go in the water often.
And this is why. So, Miz said that Cena was just disrespecting Bryan. Bryan threatened to punch Miz in the face. Everyone cheered. He said Cena was the kind of person who made him not watch TV. He was in it for the glory and the fame and not for wrestling. He said his new shirt was a parody of Cena's shirt because Cena was a parody of wrestling. He wanted the belt not for the glory, but to prove he was a better wrestler, or that there was no better wrestler than Daniel Bryan. Cena tore his shirt off, then he calmed down, and he cut an awesome promo. He was no different than Bryan. They both did what they did for the people. So he busted his ass every day for 12 years, not for people like Bryan who disrespected him, but for the kids in the Cena shirts in the crowd and the Make-A-Wish kids who relied on him for inspiration. Said Bryan should be proud of everything he had done, but he should also recognize that Cena was proud of all he had done. Miz was in the background just marking out. Cena listed a bunch of men he had beaten. Said Bryan was not in their class and would not be unless he won the belt on Sunday. Bryan said this proved you don't respect me, you won't put me in their class. He said, in Japan, before big matches, they will slap you across the face to ensure you fight with all your heart. And I would do that to you, Cena, but I can't because you're not a wrestler and you don't deserve it. And Cena was now had enough, and he begged Bryan to slap him, and Bryan was refusing. And then Hunter came out to make sure that peace was maintained, and Orton came out just to stand there with his briefcase.
You missed Cena slapping Bryan.
Cena did slap Bryan at one point. Bryan just laughed at him, getting inside his head. And Orton came out with his briefcase to remind him that he was there. And Cena was awesome here. Bryan was good. I think he could have said more about. He didn't. When you say that a guy is not a wrestler and can't wrestle, and then in the same breath acknowledge, or the same segment acknowledge he's like an 11 or 12 time champion, you need to explain that. There's a logic gap there that's left open. But yeah, Cena was great.
I think that Cena slapping Bryan was the whole key to the segment, homie. Because it's just like Daniel Bryan said. Before a big match, a dude needs to be slapped across the face really hard to get the fire lit underneath him. And John Cena inadvertently lit that fire by slapping him across the face like he was in Japan.
I see.
That's why Bryan was so intrigued and happy. Now he's going to go out there and he's going to kick John Cena's ass. Storyline, of course. But yeah, this segment was awesome.
I think it also went long because Truth and Fandango came out.
Really? You thought this match was going to go longer?
Well, maybe. But, longer than what they did. They came out, Fandango danced, Truth danced, Fandango jumped him, and it ended. There was no match, there was no bell, that was it.
They could have always taken time off the stupid Battle Royal.
Yeah, they could have taken the Battle Royal to go long. There was a Battle Royal. It was, in fact, stupid. Even by Battle Royal standards, my notes read, this was boring. Finally came down to Mark Henry and RVD, and by that point, people were into it, finally. They really wanted RVD to win, and he dodged a charge, and he low-bridged Henry, and Henry tumbled to the floor, so Rob gets the title shot at Dean Ambrose in the pre-show. That's in the pre-show, but you have to pay to watch the Bellas wrestle.
They're stars. Big stars.
Shut up.
Actually, the show did 1.67 million viewers.
I know. We'll get to that. So Henry came back to the ring, and he had the big scary stare down, but then he just offered Rob a fist bump. And then he started to leave, but the Shield's music played, and Henry was already on the floor by this point and could have left, but he chose to stay and fight and got back in the ring. A hero. But then before the fight could begin, Big Show came out in street clothes. He walked out on the ramp. The Shield's reaction to Big Show's appearance was fantastic. They were not happy to see this man. And Show slowly walked down to the ring and gingerly climbed in. He looked significantly less than 100%. And the Shield backed away. Main event, Paul Heyman versus CM Punk. Heyman started with a promo, came out and right off the bat said, "This is in fact a trap and a conspiracy. It was not just my idea. I had help." Brought out Lesnar. They showed a Lesnar video package that was just Brock Lesnar killing CM Punk over and over again. That was great. And he then announced that he'd be willing to fight Punk if Punk was willing to fight himself and Brock Lesnar in a 2-on-1 fight. He was counting on Punk being too stupid to resist playing the hero. He encouraged Punk to smarten up, disappoint the fans, and walk away. Punk's music then hit. He came in the ring from the other side. He attacked Lesnar with a camera, wiped him out with a tope, worked him over with a chair. Went after Heyman. Heyman charged up the ramp and to the back. Curtis Axel came out to cut Punk off, and he ended up beating a go-to-sleep, of course. The jobber Intercontinental Champion. And then Punk and Lesnar had to stare down. Lesnar had still been worked over with a chair. He was leaning against the ring like he had just gone one round with Cain Velasquez. And that was the show ender. Effective build for the two main events. Still too long.
It was a very long show, and it ain't going to slow down anytime soon.
I'm going to say the same thing every week until it gets cut again. Which may be years.
Your breath is being wasted, Vinny.
It's my job to give my opinion, and that is my opinion.
Yes, but this attempt to get it shortened by complaining about it every week is going to fail.
It's not it's not an attempt. I would love for it to be shortened, but that is my overriding feeling at the end of every single Raw. This show was too long.
Well, that is a fact.
Yeah.
They play a quick song, then it's time for the main event of the evening. And I have a lot to say. Here we go.